Welcome back to GasDiesel Garage, everyone. In today's episode, I got my 2015 Ecodiesel in here, and we're going to do an upgrade, so stay tuned. Now, being a mechanic, having a truck is essential. And not only that, my truck is always stuffed full of parts, tools, and everything else. Let me show you. I got a camper shell on this thing, but obviously it's so full that I can't see a daggone thing through the rear view mirror. So yes, I heavily rely on my rear view camera. Now the cool thing is that Dodge decided to make their camera right there in the door handle, so when I'm backing up to a trailer, I don't have any problems. I don't have to keep getting in and out and vice versa. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to upgrade this camera to a much better one. So I'm happy to announce that this episode of GasDiesel Garage has been sponsored by Izzy Auto, your one-stop shop for all your truck accessories. Izzy Auto is a team of more than 250 young guys that specialize in all OE parts and newest accessories for all of your top brands of trucks like Chevy and Ford and Dodge. And best of all, they ship all the parts from their USA warehouse, so go check them out and receive a discount by using the code in the description below. Now, because I've been wanting to upgrade my rear view camera, Izzy Auto sent me a box of goodies. They sent me this camera that looks OE. Look at that. Then of course they send the wiring harness. It's just one harness. I know some kits, you have to splice here, splice there, solder that, solder this, but Izzy Auto had made it really simple. One cable to go from back to the front to the display. So that's gonna be awesome. And they also sent directions. Check that out. Easy connection process. Now we got to start by taking out the old camera, which pretty much is going to be the whole latch. As you see, the new one came with the whole latch. So we're going to pull this down. Going to obviously remove this carpet. Oop. There we go. We move from here because we need to be able to access this panel here. You got to take out all these Torx, which is a T30 Torx, if you guys are keeping track. Now that you see we got access to all the internals, what we got to do now is we got to take this rod off, twist that off, snaps up like that. That actually latches to the latch on the left side. This side got to take off too, because that goes to the latch on the passenger side. Take that off. Now to get the unit to drop out, you got to hit those 8mm bolts right there. One right there, one right there. In fact, I'll do it right now. Okay, now that we got the locking mechanism loose from the handle itself, we got to take the optical cable, which is this right here, got to disconnect it right. and we got to take that one out also. Now I caution you, something that I found when trying to take the latch out, we're gonna have to take those Torx out of the camera itself. One right there and one right there, because as you can see, that is not gonna come out unless I get that from binding, or keep it from binding. Okay, now that I got the latch out, there's some things I obviously got to switch. I got to switch the locking mechanism. Got to switch that to that. That's two 8mm bolts. Pops out, goes right in. But check out the camera here. See how small that camera is? Look how godly the OE one is. This thing was so big. Obviously, I had to take it off of the latch to even get the latch out. It's kind of crazy. Okay, now that I got the harness out, we gotta be able to find where we can hook up the 12 volt and the 12 volt power and the 12 volt ground. Gotta figure that out. So I took the liberty off camera, but as you see with the old camera, this actually goes to the door lock switch to pop that. But anyways, the two that we're going to be shooting for is this red and this black. Now this red goes into the pink with the yellow stripe. That'd be your power. And then this ground, which, oh, lo and behold, it's black. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut these off. Here we go. Cut that off. And you can actually cut the rest of this stuff off, because we're not going to be using these. There goes your old camera. Now next thing we do is we need to find this end of the cable, right there. It's got the positive and the negative, so that would be that right there. And that positive and negative. Now I will caution, when you strip these wires back on the new cable, be very careful, because these things are very, very thin, and it'd be very easy for you to break it. See how thin that stuff is? But that's okay, we're gonna make it work. Right, it's really thin stuff there. Now on a normal instance, I would actually solder these together, but being that these wires are so thin, I'm gonna butt connect them, and then I'm gonna shrink wrap them, and that should do the trick. Now, of course, match up your colors. Black to black, red to red. Now that we got it all powered up in the harness like we need, now we can just go ahead and put the brand new one in. Sliding it up through here. Make sure you put your linkages back in. Now let's slide our stock harness back in. Make sure you plug up your lock. Just comes right back here. Now this is your optical cable going to the camera, so you see how it's really long, but all we're gonna do is roll this up a little bit, Now you want your optical cable to not come in contact with any of these moving parts. So if I was you, I would try to zip tie this to the stock harness, because that's actually what we're going to follow. Okay, that's not a good one, because we're going to follow the stock harness when we go and fish this thing up to the dashboard. So let's zip tie this so it doesn't move. There we go. Okay. Now we get the male side from the cable, I'm sorry, from the camera itself, which is right here. And then here's your new harness. As you can see, there'll be an arrow here and an arrow here. You just line those things up just like that. Okay. Now for the most part, back here on the tailgate, it's finished. But the cool thing is, this tailgate actually has access points to where we can take this harness, which we're going to follow the stock harness all the way up underneath the vehicle through here. See that little hole right there? And there's another hole too, if you can't. There you go. Another hole right there where the stock harness comes out. So what we're going to do is we're going to fish this harness through the tailgate, follow that hole, then we're going to go through that hole, and then we're going to pick up the stock harness right here. Okay, now I'm under the vehicle. Now that I got my cable, my brand new cable fed through the frame like I want to follow the same path as the old harness all through the frame. How I'm going to secure that is I'm going to use a bunch of zip ties. I'm going to zip, 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 zip all the way through. Now the easiest way to get this cable to feed through into the cab is to go right here where the parking brake cable comes in. There's a grommet right there that I'm going to put a little bit of a cut in, and then I'm going to fish it through. Right, now we need to go in here and take the center console out. The easiest way to do that is to pop that little rubber thing out of there. Wants to be a pain in the butt. There we go. Pop that out. Pop this out. There should be two little screws, little Torx. Now that the cable is routed into the cab, now here comes the fun part, hooking it up to your radio. Now if you look down here, this is the old one right there. You pull that out. Now me having the aftermarket Pioneer, I just obviously traced where the rear view camera RCA was. But anyways, now we got our cable. We plug that in right there. Now this wire is for if you want to do the parked view. I necessarily don't really need that. I mean, we can hook it up later, but all we need to do is hook it up to a 12-volt source. Now that we got everything installed, here's the moment of truth. Let's make sure it works. Throw this mug in reverse. Hey, check that out. Look how wide that angle is. 170-degree widescreen picture there. Now that's exactly what I was looking for in a camera. A 170-degree widescreen camera, you can't beat that. So I urge you to check out Izzy Auto in the link in the description below, and smash that like and subscribe button if you enjoyed this type of stuff. If you don't, I understand. But anyways, till next time, peace.